Guys, this is fourth lecture of thermal engineering. Up to this lecture, or in last lecture, we have seen uh, laws of thermodynamics. That is zeroth, first law, and second law of thermodynamics. In zeroth law, uh, we have seen that if there are three bodies, okay, in which two bodies are separately in equilibrium with third body, then these two bodies are also in thermal equilibrium with each other. I am repeating the statement again. If two bodies are separately in equilibrium with third body, then these two bodies are also in thermal equilibrium with each other. Okay, this is zeroth law of thermodynamics. Now, first law of thermodynamics, which is nothing but the conservation of energy. We state that the amount of energy of an isolated system executed in cycle is a constant. If we consider any system and its energy is always will be constant, okay, then like the statement of conservation of energy, what the energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, but it can be converted from one form to another form. Then next thing we have seen second law of thermodynamics, in which there were two statements, Kelvin Planck statements and Clausius statement. Okay, first let's see the Kelvin Planck statement. It is impossible to construct an heat engine. Okay, it is impossible to construct an heat engine. Planck statement is about heat engine and Clausius is about heat pump. Clearly keep in mind this, that it is impossible to construct an heat engine working in a cyclic process whose sole effect is to convert all the heat supplied to it into an equivalent amount of work. Okay, there is no heat engine which works or which converts all the heat supplied into work. Why we are engine are used, or engine is consuming heat and producing power. Okay, there are some losses, but in the same thing Kelvin Planck in the Kelvin Planck statement is there is no machine which can convert total heat supplied into total equivalent amount of work. Okay, now second statement is Clausius statement about second law of thermodynamics. That is, it is impossible to construct heat pump. Okay, heat pump is what pump actually do. It absorb the energy from low energy reservoir to higher energy reservoir. Okay, it is impossible to construct a heat pump which works in cyclic process whose sole effect is to convert or transfer of heat from body at lower temperature to body at higher temperature without work. Is it clear? A device to work in a cycle, or here you can see in second step you can clearly see that it is impossible for heat energy to flow from work at lower temperature, from a body at lower temperature to higher temperature without the aid of external work. Without the aid of external work. Without external work, we cannot take the temperature of the body from lower temperature, or we cannot take body from lower temperature to higher temperature. Like fridge, if we put something or put the water in freezer, without supplying energy it cannot be freezed. Okay, we must have to uh, turn the switch on so that the fridge will uh, cool down that water to form ice. That means, in what Clausius statement says, actually without heat you can't, without giving energy or work to the heat pump, it will not raise the temperature of any body. Okay, then equivalence of Kelvin Planck statement. We have to see this equivalence, how this Kelvin Planck statement and Clausius statement are stating the second law of thermodynamics. Okay, what is meant by equivalence? That means Kelvin Planck and Clausius statement are the statement of second law of thermodynamics. This we have to prove. Okay, this is what we have to prove. Both the Kelvin Planck and Clausius both are stating the second law, but in different way. And how these two laws are equivalent, we have to prove that. Okay, now for this, the equivalent of two statements will be proved if it can be shown that violation of one statement implies the violation of second statement and vice versa. That means we can say that the Kelvin Planck statement, if we violate Kelvin Planck statement, the Clausius should also be violated, or vice versa. If we violate Clausius statement, then Kelvin Planck statement should also be violated. That means, again I am telling you, if we are producing engine, we have to violate Kelvin Planck statement. That means we have to make one device which will convert total heat energy absorbed to work. That means we are violating the Kelvin Planck statement. That means we are producing total heat input into total work output. As much heat we have taken, we have totally converted into work. That means we have violated the first law of that is Kelvin Planck statement. Now by this process, it must happen that without supplying energy to heat pump, it should raise the temperature of, or take the heat from lower reservoir to higher reservoir. In this way, this both statement will be violated. In the other hand, in the same way, we are going to see that. Wait for a while. If we violate a Clausius statement, that means if we are taking the heat from lower reservoir at low temperature to the higher temperature without supplying energy, that means this is violating second law by Clausius statement, or this is violating Clausius statement, and supply it to heat engine which is producing some total work, total heat supplied into total energy. This is also violating Kelvin Planck statement. That means we have to see that, or we can prove the equivalence by assuming then, or by violating one statement and proving that another is also violating in the same way, or vice versa. Let's see that. Okay, this is first machine in which violation of Clausius statement, we have to show the equivalence of Kelvin and Clausius. Okay, now this is the PMM1, that is perpetual motion machine 1. Okay, in which violation of Clausius statement is take place. Okay, we have violated the Clausius statement. That means we have supplied the heat from cold reservoir to hot reservoir without supplying energy. Okay, that means this machine, this heat pump is violating Clausius statement. Okay, understand? Okay, let me tell you again that in this machine, this heat pump is pumping the heat from cold reservoir to hot reservoir without supplying of energy. Energy is zero, or work done is zero. That means Clausius statement is being violated. Okay, now let's see what happened in another machine. This is heat engine. Now remove this hot reservoir. Okay, remove this hot reservoir, because now directly consider that this Q1 is coming from this and supplied to the heat engine. Okay, in this cycle this heat engine is working. Now heat engine is taking the energy from cooled reservoir, which is pumped by heat pump, and supplying to the what same reservoir by producing some energy, which is violation of Kelvin Planck statement. Okay, we cannot made some or manufacture such machine which is producing, which is acting, or which is working in same reservoir and producing some energy. Okay, this is a violation of Kelvin Planck statement. Okay, heat engine is producing some energy by acting or by doing some work in the from or taking some heat from the same reservoir and supplying to the same reservoir. This is violation of the Kelvin statement. Okay, that means therefore if Clausius law is violated, if Clausius statement is violated, the Kelvin Planck statement also violated. Therefore these two laws are Clausius law and Kelvin Planck statement, both are the statement for second law of thermodynamics. Okay, now लगेच जायचं आहे का? एक 8 मिनटं राहिले फक्त माझे. 8 मिनटात येतो मी. सर काय म्हटले, लेक्चर घ्या का लगेच? जमा केले का तुम्ही? बरं ठीक आहे. 10 मिनटात मी येतो तिथं. चालेल. हां. Okay, in this way we have seen the equivalence between two statements. Now let us study, we have to see the perpetual motion machine 1 and 2, that is PPM1, PMM1 and PMM2. Okay, you can see the definition of a machine which violated the first law of thermodynamics is called the perpetual of the first kind, that is PMM1. Such a machine creates its own energy from nothing and does not exist. Okay, if a machine is bought or thought which will give output without input energy, that is PMM1. Now PMM2, without violating the first law, a machine can be imagined which would continuously absorb heat from a single thermal reservoir and would convert this heat completely into work. The efficiency of such machine could be 100%. This machine is called perpetual motion machine of second kind. A machine of this kind will evidently violate the second law of thermodynamics. Okay, now what is reversibility and irreversibility? Now what is reversible process? The process whose initial and final state is same is known as reversible process. Okay, these are what is reversible process whose initial and final positions are same. The process which can be reversed, bringing both the state of system and the surrounding to the initial condition without any other input, the condition of reversible process is that the system must be in thermal equilibrium condition at all state. Example, friction adiabatic is isentropic expansion or compression of gas. Reversible process are hypothetical. Okay, there is no process which is completely reversible exists in the universe. Now, irreversible process. The process which cannot be brought to initial state is known as irreversible process. The process which cannot be returned both the state of the system and the surrounding at their original condition without external input. Such process, when reversed, leave some mark on the system or the surrounding. A car driven up wheel. Example is a car driven up wheel. The level of fuel in the tank drop. In this process, reverse car is coasted down the hill. The fuel consumed cannot be reproduced. Okay. Now, difference between reversible and irreversible process. Reversible process and difference between reversible and irreversible process. The process whose initial and final state is same is known as reversible. The process which cannot be brought into initial stage is irreversible. Change of system is finite. Change of system is spontaneous. Process is free from friction. Process involves friction in irreversible. It is ideal process. These are practical process. Heat transfer is assumed to take place with initial infinite small. Heat transfer is taking place with finite temperature. Temperature difference that is process is quasi-static process. We have seen that quasi-static means what? Reversible process. Very slow process are reversible process and irreversible process are difference. Example is isothermal compression or expansion of gas. Example, all natural process, that is burning of fuel. Now, factors making the process irreversible is process in friction, unrestricted expansion of gases or fluid, heat transfer through a finite temperature difference, and mixing of two different fluid. This is the factor affecting the reversibility. Then mechanical irreversibility is associated with the fluid friction among the molecules and the friction between the surface. Thermal irreversibility is related with heat transfer with finite temperature difference between parts of the system or between system and surrounding. Internal irreversibility is related with fluid friction and temperature variation in fluid combustion and diffusion. External reversibility is associated with the friction at the bearing and between atmospheric and rotating member. It occurs outside the boundary of the system. Okay, these were the thing that we are studying now. In next lecture, we are going to study Carnot cycle, reverse Carnot cycle, which will be very necessary for us in IC engine also. So, from next lecture, we will study that again. Let's summarize what we have seen in this lecture. It is zeroth law, first law, second law, Clausius statement, Kelvin-Planck statement, how the Kelvin-Planck statement and Clausius statement are equivalent to each other. These things we have studied, and also perpetual motion machine, that is PMM1, and perpetual motion machine of second kind, then reversibility and irreversibility. Okay, these things we have studied. Okay, let me revise one more thing again, that is perpetual motion machine is what? Machine violated the first law of thermodynamics, that is machine creates own energy from nothing and does not exist. What first law state? Energy neither be created nor be destroyed, but it can be converted from one form to another form. But in this machine, without taking energy, we are producing energy. That's why this is perpetual motion machine 1. And in second machine, this also violated this without violating the second law. This is violating the second law, that is it is continuously absorbing a heat from a single thermal reservoir and convert. Okay, in perpetual motion machine, it is absorbing the heat from the same reservoir and producing the energy. That means it is 100% efficient. So this kind of machine cannot be produced. So this is a perpetual motion machine of second kind. Okay, tomorrow again we will revise all these things and start with next lecture. Thank you for today.